All right, so I gotta ask something. Why do people feel like if you're not in a committed relationship after meeting somebody in like 3 months, you're wasting your time? Like, since when did it become a crime to actually want to get to know somebody? I thought that's what was the point, especially if you're thinking about making someone your lifelong partner. Hey, if I want to spend the next 30, 40, 50 years with you, why are we in a rush to do it in 3 months? Like, what's the point? And for me personally, I feel like part of it is just because everything's fast paced. You get money straight to your phone. You can go take cash and put it straight in a bank account. You get food fast. Things have just sped up. The internet is right there. You can match with 150 people. You can meet somebody today and go on a date tomorrow. So people will jump to get into a relationship because they think it takes the other person off of the market, or it gives them a sense of security in being in a committed relationship. But what's the point if you guys know each other for 2 weeks and then only date for 2 months? Okay, nobody else had them for 2 months, but it was a waste of time already. So for me personally, I believe you should take your time. Does it have to be 6 months? No. But personally, I don't think 6 months is too long of a time, because let's just be honest. How often do you get to see somebody in every emotional state in 1 or 2 months? You're not going to. So I think it's just, if you're a mature person who's dating with the intention of forever, 3, 4 months isn't going to be that hard on you. And you're not going to be eager to rush it if you want to make sure it lasts. And so I feel like if you're taking your time, you're not playing games. You're protecting your peace, especially if you're someone who's working towards building something and you take a lot of your time and your energy on that. There's one thing I feel like a lot of people don't think about, is that who you decide to be your life partner determines a whole lot of things. It's going to play a part in where you live, how you live, what you eat, the things that you do in your leisure time, the things that are in front of you, the music you listen to, the movies that are in front of you, the conversations that you have are all tied to the person you decide to spend the rest of your life with. And I guess you can always switch that person. You can get divorced if you want to, but I personally don't want to. So I'd rather take my time. And I feel like when you rush into a relationship with someone, you skip all the hard parts and then they just come back around later. And if you rush into being in a relationship with somebody, you're not necessarily getting into a relationship with that person. You like the vibe. You like the idea. You like the atmosphere that's been created, but you don't have enough input on the person. And sometimes we can mistake chemistry for compatibility, or just attraction for compatibility. Because I like the way they look, I'm interested in being here. Or they're just an interesting person because of what they do, but we have nothing in common. Because chemistry, butterflies, leads to physical and physicality. Physical attraction leads to intimacy physically, right? Compatibility comes into play when you're dealing with someone, and who is this person when they're tired, when they're angry, when they're sad, when they're going through hard times in life. When people are stressed, we live in a stressful world, a stressful time right now. Everybody talking about inflation and the economy. Like, these are things that people are actually having to take into account, especially if you're someone who owns a house, you own a business, like stuff like that. You're thinking about this all the time. So if you've never seen this person handle stress, how do you know you want to deal with that person for forever? And this isn't something that you can learn in 30 days. You might not even get to see the full depth and breadth of a person within 6 months. It's not like we go through life-changing challenges. I feel like most people don't go through a life-changing challenge every 2 months, every 3 months. So if you've never seen this person deal with conflict and have to do conflict resolution in the first 3 months of knowing them, what is going to happen? And this is two things I want to bring into account. There are a lot of stories of guys who will start dating a woman or get involved with a woman, get married even. There are guys who've gotten married and lost their job and their wife leaves them. Not because they can't pay for stuff right now, but because of the lack of trust in the ability to figure it out, right? And I'm not saying this happens every single day. I don't know how many times it happens, but I've seen it. And social media post stuff like that. I'm talking about social media while referencing social media. How ironic. But there's been cases, at least for breakups, I've even talked to people who've broken up with somebody because they lost their job and the person said they were uncomfortable with the decision making, or they didn't want to be with somebody that was going to be relying on them, or simply they wanted a man with money. So in a situation like that, first off, how long did you take to get to know the character and mindset of this woman before deciding that she was going to be your world? Secondly, how long are you going to take with this man to figure out what his financial, not just standing is right now, but understanding and literacy is? How he makes moves with money and what he plans on doing when times are hard or when he doesn't have enough to meet something that is coming up. Does he just fall under pressure? Does he become angry? This is what I feel like people don't think about because we get so caught up in the feel good parts of it that we don't stop and think, well, what is this person like when they're not happy? And this was the second thing I wanted to say. It was funny that example came out in two parts, but this was the second one I was thinking. Situations where someone will jump into a relationship and then it's like 3-4 months down the line and like, wow, he's abusive. It's like, you didn't know he was verbally abusive. You didn't know he was manipulative. You didn't know he was physically abusive because in the first 2 months, it was so beautiful. In the first 3 months, it was so beautiful. And I'm not knocking or shaming anybody. I'm just saying personally, I give myself a 6-month buffer just so I get to see the breadth of this person. What are you like when you're comfortable? What are you like when you're agitated? What are you like when you're upset? What are you like when we're locked in? Are you able to be consistent in the first 3 months? If you go 2 months, if something blows up, and then you go 1 month good on good terms again, and then it blows up again, and then you like, if that happens, so 2 months, it goes good, blows up. Come back 3 months, 1 month, it goes good, blows up. Come back 4 months, 5 months. On month 6, I don't know if it's going to blow up again or if it's going to continue to be good until month 7. After month 2, in the blow up, understanding. Month 3, and then a blow up, gaining awareness. 6, 7, 8, we got to go at least 3-4 more months or have at least a better understanding on how to handle these blow ups or these falling outs. Like, for me personally. So I feel like instead of going through 2 or 3 good months and then having a blow up or a falling out, I'd rather just go 6 months of figuring out whether or not we can figure things out. Because in a relationship, one of the big things you have to learn how to do is conflict resolution. How are you going to be with somebody you can't agree with or agree to disagree with? Or come to a conclusion or a middle ground, because you're never going to agree 100% of the time. So if we spend the first 2 months agreeing all the time because you're saying yes to me and I'm saying yes to you, what's going to happen in month 4 or 5 when we're both agreeing to disagree and not in a polite way? So conflict resolution is important. And for me personally, I don't think that necessarily taking your time makes you unsure, especially when you tell the person, I want to take my time to get to know you for sure. That means I'm actually, for me, it means I'm actually invested in getting to know you if I tell you this, because I'll have in the back of my head that I know I don't want to get serious within the first 6 months. But if I don't even foresee a month with you after the first date, second date, I'm not even going to say all of this. Like, I'm here to vet and scope. The first date is purely vibe. I just want to see what type of person you are and what kind of vibe you bring to a room. That's it. That's all. Can we have a conversation and enjoy each other's presence? That's literally it. Sometimes my first date is purely because I was going to this thing and I wanted someone to come with me. That's it. That's all, right? Second date, all right, cool. I got an idea, understanding of how things went the first time. Let's see if they show up as the same person this time, right? Because sometimes people show up and be in a bad mood or overcompensating or 150 different things. You never know, right? Everybody's going to put on their best impression the first time they meet you, or what they think is their best impression. I feel like you need at least 3-hour to 2-hour dates to actually feel whether or not someone is truly comfortable in your presence and comfortable being themselves, right? And sometimes after the first 2 interactions, the jokes start to change. The things they point out about people start to change because they think you guys are, you feel me? People start to reveal who they are. So for me personally, I need those first 2 dates just to see what's your vibe like, and is that same vibe brought 2 times? And then the third time, all right, cool. Can we still find things to talk about and things that are interesting? Because all of the where are you from and stuff like that, what you like to do, like hobbies and stuff like that, small questions. I don't like small talk. Hate it. Especially because these are all things that if we really lock in, we're going to talk about, right? What you do for a living, how your day was, what you did today. Like, these are all things that you do the same types of things consistently. I'm going to get to know that type of stuff. So let's just talk about life. Let's talk about what's all around us. What do you notice in this room? I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but I like to know how people think and what they think about. And this is because that's how you truly tell the values of a person, the morals of a person. If you know, or if you notice that every time you guys go out, this person never says thank you, excuse me, bye, and none of that. There are never any niceties, never any warm greetings. You're either unaware, slightly cold, or disrespectful. That's my viewpoint on it. I didn't have to wait for you to show me you at your most disrespectful, or hear you say you don't give a fuck about other people if they didn't come with you. I've heard people say stuff like that. If they ain't come with me, I don't give a damn about nobody in the space. Okay, that's fine that you feel that way, but that's a closed-minded viewpoint. In my opinion, I talk to everybody and I'm slightly aware of most people in my surrounding at all times. Whether or not it seems like I am or not, I'm paying attention. And it just speaks to the mindset of a person. I'm looking for your mindset to be revealed. But by the way you talk, by the way, whatever. Moving on. But yeah, like I was saying, taking your time, I don't feel like means you're unsure. For me, I feel like it just means you're comfortable with where you are, with who you are, and being by yourself. You're not in a rush to make somebody your partner because you know what you do, you want it to last and what that means to you. And I feel like with the speed of things and the fact that people, I don't want to make it seem like I don't date or haven't dated multiple people, but like, you could date somebody for 3 months, break up, and then date somebody else for 3 months and break up and then date somebody else for 3 months. And I've had 3 relationships in 1 year. I've never had 3 girlfriends in 1 year, not since being an adult, not even when I was 18. Like, I think the most girlfriends I ever had in a single year is 2, just because, one, I've only ever, since high school, had 1 girlfriend that I knew for less than 6 months before she became my girlfriend. And I think even with her, we might have waited. And this was just me in high school because I don't know you. I don't know you. I can talk to anybody. I have great conversations with so many people and I'm comfortable with a lot of people, but that doesn't mean I like you like that. And really, like I said, for me, it comes down to mindset and being able to converse with somebody and explore things with them and find things all the time with somebody. That's just the type of person I am. I always like new stuff, interesting stuff that makes my mind work. And I've been in situations where I've had people just want to listen to music or not talk or watch like slapstick cartoons. And I'm not knocking none of this. I like cartoons. I still watch cartoons from time to time in bits and pieces, but I'm not one for mundane all the time, right? I don't know how to put it. It's just my brain has to be learning something new, not at all times of the day, but consistently, or I feel like I'm caged in. And there's times where I need mental stimulation, and the person that I'm supposed to be in partnership with wants the exact opposite or doesn't understand why I want to talk. And that's fine. But sometimes I feel like a problem when I'm not asking for anything but the space to talk. Or by me presenting things that I find interesting or that I'm learning or thinking about, people start to think that I don't think they learn enough or that they don't know as much as me, or that I'm trying to teach them because I'm trying to learn something. And if I'm trying to learn something I'm familiar with, it must be because you want me to be more familiar. And no, I just like reiterating sometimes. But long story short, it's one thing for me, I like a lot of mental stimulation, and sometimes people don't. And so that's something it's important to me in a partner. In the first month or 2, we might not talk a whole lot, or we might both just be hella talkative. I might end up cutting up or no, whatever. But I do want to say I'm not telling people to drag things out for forever. I'm saying after 6 months, if you make it to 6 months, these are the things you should know by now. I've seen you mad. I've seen you sad. I've seen you, you know what I mean, tired. I've seen you sleepy. We've had a disagreement and we've come to some type of conflict resolution. 6 months, probably multiple times. You respect my time, my space, and my goals and my vision. That's another big one. I feel like people will downplay if they really like the person, but the person isn't that interested in any of the things that they like. I saw, it could have been a lie. I don't remember if it was something on the internet. It was a post on the internet, but it was a woman who was saying she messed up a bunch of her husband's Lego set and told him that it was stupid or something like that. And pretty much she ridiculed him for the only hobby that he's had since they've been married. And he has a separate room in the house that's for his Lego sets and figurines, and he builds like actual big versions of replicas of stuff. You know, like the Star Wars ship, like this big, 1,000 Lego pieces, and some of them he buys, right? Long story short, she knocked it over, she made fun of him, and she told him that she couldn't believe she married somebody with such a stupid hobby or something like that. And then she said he packed up everything in the room. I don't remember if she said he threw it away, but long story short, she came to the internet to make the post because he hadn't spoken to her in like a week or 2 weeks or something like that. And this is why finding someone who is kind of at least willing to ask you things about the things you're interested in, or talk about you, at least ask questions about you, is a green flag. But that shows knowing someone's values and something that they hold important to them, and just knowing people's values when it comes to friends, when it comes to relationship like standards, when it comes to family. Have you met their family? Within 6 months, you should have met at least 1 or 2 people from their family, or at least seen them talk to somebody in their family. Every girl that I've ever taken seriously has seen me talk to my dad and probably had a FaceTime conversation with him. Hey, I don't know. I feel like that's important. And you have to be the same person. You don't have to be the same exact person every day. But from the day that I met you to the 3rd month to the 6th month, I want to see the core traits of the same person. I don't want no switcheroos. And you got to be the same person in person as you are online and through messaging. Don't bamboozle me. Don't get no switcheroo. Like, be the same person. And this is why I personally think taking your time with dating is a good thing, and it just builds a standard for the rest of the relationship if you don't jump into it in a month or two. And a lot of it because people want to either secure a spot in somebody's life, so they're not attached and certain that this is going to last, or that the person values them in a way that they want to be valued, or there's a lack of security on their sense of thinking that the person actually wants them. Or some people want title, ownership, want to feel like you're mine and no one else can have you because I like you so much. And I don't know, for me, all of that just screams problems. Because if you're truly happy and truly looking to connect for the long term, you're going to be fine with the pace of the person you're truly interested in, as long as you guys are on the same page. And I feel like that's another thing. You guys just have to be on the same page. And I'll say this, for any woman that I was involved with that I did tell I wanted to wait at least 6 months, the most detrimental thing that happened is as it got closer to 6 months, she started to lose faith in the fact that I actually liked her. And so I can say maybe it's been a detriment to some of my relationships, because she might be looking for this keys or the stepping stones to let her know where she stands within the 6 month time frame. I don't mean it to be that way. I just like to set the precipice of, I'm not in a rush to be in a relationship. And even though I really like you, I'm not about to just say yes to anything. And I do this because in the past, I was involved with someone. After 3-4 months, she said, why am I not your girlfriend? And I said, I just hadn't thought about it yet, honestly. And she said, what does that mean? And I was like, I see you all the time. I'm with you all the time. When I hang out with women, it's usually you or you and your friends. So for me, I'm not looking at other people. So I'm in no rush to make sure you're not doing it either. With how much time we spend together, I'm curious to who else is you gonna be dating? Like, when are you chilling with them? You feel me? So it's like, and I'm a really honest person. If I don't have a girlfriend, I will tell you, yeah, I was on a date, or there is another woman I'm talking to. I completely lost to shawty because I told her, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's another woman that I really like, and I'm interested in continuing to see where things go with her. I like you too, but I didn't say the same words. She said, boy, you must be playing. Bye. I said, cool, no problem. You feel me? What happened to the other little shawty? Didn't work out either. That's fine. You feel me? I'm not in a rush. And if I'm not already feeling that, I'm not gonna hold on to something or try to keep as many options as possible. No. If we're not comfortable, then we're not comfortable. And so what happened with little shawty after 4 months? She said, why am I not your girlfriend? I said, I didn't think about it. You know what? Fine then, be my girlfriend. Not even 2 months later, what happened? I cheated on her. I felt horrible. I felt bad. She ended up finding out. You feel me? She cheated on me too, before she knew I cheated on her. Why would I do that again? We both cheated on each other. We only knew each other. Actually, we knew of each other for like 6 months. 4 to 6 months, we knew of each other. And then we actually met and actually started hanging out with mutual friends and then started hanging out alone. And that was about 4 months. And we both cheated on each other within 4 months of being together. So I'm like, why would I do that again? Yes, I'm a different person. I don't condone cheating, and I haven't in a very, very long time. But just the fact of knowing that we both rushed into something because she wasn't comfortable without a title, I was uncomfortable making her uncomfortable. I'm not going to move because of making someone else uncomfortable anymore. That's pretty much what I learned out of that. And to not cheat. You feel me? And to not rush into being in a relationship with somebody if you're not ready for the actual commitment of a relationship. So for some context, I was just graduating high school. I was 18 though. I was an adult. I was 19 actually. And I was in college, freshman year of college. Summertime between high school and college is when we were hanging out the most. And she said, why am I not your girlfriend? I made her my girlfriend. I went to college and saw 10, 15, 20,000 women that were all my age. And I lost it. You feel me? A little crazy. So it is what it is. But if I would have just had a month more forethought, I would have known, no, I don't want to make her my girlfriend because there's all these girls around. Like when I come home, we locked in. If you want to talk every night, we locked in. Instead, I made her my girlfriend and broke her trust and made her have a distaste for long distance relationships. Same for me. Essentially, she broke my trust and I cheated on her. We broke trust on both sides. So it's like, why do that again? This is you live and you learn for me personally. And I've had other situations where the 6 months was no problem. Once you got to month like 4 or 5, she said, what's going on? And I said, oh, you been counting? I ain't mean to have you stressed out like that. Like, I mean, I'm pretty much sold for the most part. Like, I like you a lot. Nothing's changed. You've been the same person. We are boyfriend and girlfriend without the title so much in my book. I'm not talking to nobody else or you. And something else, I feel like people think that if you're saying it takes 6 months, that means you want to still do whatever you want to do with other people for that 6 month period. And for me personally, yes and no. Because if I'm really locked in with you, I'm going to stop doing whatever I'm doing with other people on month 1 or 2. If I actually like you, I don't need to see other people if I'm interested in finding more out about you. And once we get to month 4, if I'm still keeping the same rapport, like you got 6 months, then I'm going to stop talking to everybody or let you know, like, I don't know how much I'm actually even feeling this for a committed relationship. Like, we get along good, you're cool, but I don't even know if I want to date you. I'm going to be that honest. I keep it 100. I keep it 1,000. Just the beginning of last year, talking to someone that I really, really liked, I wanted to see in my future. It didn't seem like we were there yet, right? And so there was another woman I had met prior to getting locked in with this young lady. She was cool. I liked her. But after our second or third, like, hang out long term, like a date type thing, I was just like, I'm not feeling this like this. And I told her, like, look, you're cool. I like our conversations, but there's someone that I'm actually interested in being in a relationship with, and I'd like to continue to explore that and see where that goes. And essentially, like, we can't do this. We can be cool, but late night kick-its, stuff like that, is gonna have to chill. Little baby was still trying to see me. You feel me? And all I just said is to say, I've told multiple women that I'm gonna take at least 6 months to know if I really want to be with somebody, or hey, there's somebody that I'm actually really interested in getting to know. And I've had it work 2 different ways. I've gotten told, you playing games, bye. And I was told, I really understand that, and that's the mature thing for you to do and for you to say and for you to tell me. I appreciate it. Other times, I've been in the middle of seeing somebody and I met somebody I wanted to lock in with, and I was like, yo, I feel like maybe we should take a step back and reconsider everything, because I don't want to rush into making somebody my girlfriend and then be wrong. Essentially, is that commitment issues? Maybe. Is it maturity? I feel like. And I've been told that my verbalizing of this is appreciated. And it's not like I just want to run around with other people. I just want to be certain about my choice, because I take making someone my girlfriend just as serious as getting engaged. Like, once you're my girlfriend, I'm seeing forever with you, because I don't need a girlfriend. So I want a wife. I don't need a girlfriend. Do I need a wife? If I want to fulfill God's law, yes. You feel me? And just essentially is like, for me, once you become my girlfriend, I extend most of myself as much as I can without overbearing myself. And in the past, I've let myself go above and beyond what was even my own capabilities for myself in order to maintain the relationship. So I thought, right? Whereas like if someone is going to ask you to jeopardize yourself and your well-being for the sake of themselves and you're not cohabitating, that's a problem, right? And so again, maturity, and again, time and vetting. Because if I was aware of this type of mindset, I would have been thinking more about me and less about the other person. But the way I handle relationship is once we become locked in, I'm thinking about my partner in some cases before I'm thinking about me, just because I want to make sure that you're okay. And I'm going to expect myself to take care of myself. So I've learned that I also need a partner with a similar mindset, or at least a similar understanding of, let me take care of myself so they can take care of themselves. So we're not both stressing about taking care of each other. And I feel like a lot of people jump into a relationship because they find someone who is catering to something that they feel like they're not able to do for themselves or felt like they were missing, right? And that's why there's a rush on jumping in a relationship, because you come together and you feel something that feels connected and it feels right and it feels like you're whole, but it's because you were searching for a feeling you felt like you weren't getting from yourself. So I refuse to do it. I have to be certain that I give to you, you give to me. I pour into you, you pour into me. This is an equal give and take. And if it is ever imbalanced in either way, please let me know, because I also have been in a situation where I feel like I was being a burden and being overbearing. She just was okay with it. Like, and I'm not saying this like any type of way other than being aware of who I was. And it wasn't even on purpose. It was just the situation and circumstances that I was in. I was new to the area, was working in between jobs, like gigging. I didn't have a car, and I started off sleeping at family's house to not having a place to sleep. Like, and through all of this, she was around and stayed the same person. There's some other things that go along with that, but just me seeing where I was in that point in time, it would have been the mature, responsible thing for me to say, let me be for 2 or 3 months and get myself tied in before I try to tie you into my life, right? And for me personally, if I see somebody in that type of space, I'm not going to down them at all. I know what it's like. But I also know what it's like, the mental space that you're in. So I'm not going to try to be your significant other. We could still be involved. We could be friends. We could be, you feel me? Like, we can do everything except for be in a relationship, essentially. And as little or as much as that is you want to do, but I'm going to let you know, like, I don't want to be involved like that, or I don't want to involve myself too far as something that can determine your mental state or what you're focusing on, because you are in build mode and you got to build. I just am a person who understands grind mode, build time, and I respect both parts of that. And I know what it looks like when someone is coming out of something or coming out of a struggle. And I know it's nice to have people there, but that doesn't mean you have to jump into a relationship or jump into physical intimacy in order to be there for someone. It could be as simple as just giving them a ride. It could be as simple as being the ear that they talk to on the phone. Like, we don't even have to see each other in person. Or it could be as simple as letting them sleep on the couch, spend the night at your house. But it doesn't have to be intimate. You don't have to sleep in my bed for you to spend the night and me do you a favor. Stuff like that is like having a boundary on where you take the relationship. And I mean relationship, just people relating to each other. You don't have to go into things that are involved in an intimate relationship. You don't have to see each other at your homes. You don't have to go out after certain times. You don't have to go out to bars and clubs. Like, if these things feel like they're going to make them too romantic or date-like, don't do them. And I've even had times where I said, hey, I'm not interested in taking this further romantically, but we can try to be friends. And the conversation was, hey, we've tried that, and after 3 different interactions, I don't like the way it feels, and I feel as if I have to put my behaviors in a box. I said, cool, understandable, peacefully separated, amicably. And so I think it really just comes down to being mature, knowing what it is you expect and what you want out of being in relation with somebody, and then being in relationship with somebody, and then actually being able to stand on that, essentially enact your boundaries, whether that's being in a relationship and being committed with somebody, what does that look like for you? And what do you expect out of your partner? What do you expect to bring for your partner? Because like, that's one thing a lot of people, I feel like, get in a tiff about, but like, whenever two people come together, they're going to be sharing something, whether it's just, if you were just in a room and two people were having a conversation, if one person just would not shut up, you're going to feel the imbalance. Or if one person just doesn't want to talk, you're going to feel that they don't want to talk. So if you could just be sitting in a room with somebody and feeling imbalance in the energy, imagine being in a partnership or a relationship with somebody and feeling some type of imbalance. Like, come on now. We all want to feel as if the situation is balanced, not equal, not the same, but there has to be a balance between it, right? And so everyone has to do something for their partner, even if it's just being a sense of calm, a sense of peace, like mental support, emotional support, folding clothes. And I know that's like, oh my God, women do laundry. That's not what I said. Helping out with folding clothes, moving stuff to the side, fixing things around the house, cleaning stuff up. Like, for me personally, I believe being in a relationship, part of my duty as a significant other is to play a significant part in your life. And there's so many little things that go into a day. So I'm going to try and help with all of those things. Not all of them. I'm not going to say all of them. But I will try to help with some of the things you got going on. Like, you have to drive back and forth from work. Gas in the car, right? I don't know. I'm the type of person, I'm just going to see stuff. See little things and do them. That's it. That's all. I feel like when you ask people what do they do for their partner, they're like, what do you mean what I do? It's like, you should know something that you are willing to do for your partner. I'll cook you something. I'll go change the tire, you feel me? Like, I'll massage your feet, your back, your neck, what you want, you feel me? If you want to talk, let's talk. If you don't want to talk, we don't have to talk. Like, I don't know. Read the love languages, not to figure out which ones yours are, but to figure out what different ones exist. Once you find out that other love languages exist other than the ones that you like or the things that you already innately do, you'll just be able to understand, in my opinion, what it's like to actually be a good partner. You feel me? I've been ranting. I've said way more than I'm into. It's supposed to be a 10-minute video. Let's see how long it is once I get done, chopping it up. Once you spend the time getting to know somebody and you get to see them at all of their different variations of being themselves, and you can still come to a peaceful resolution and have consistent commitment and interactions, let's be committed. Let's be official. But if we can't even go 3 or 4 months without having big blowups or falling outs, if we can't have conversations, I don't know. You get it. I already said it all. If we cannot come to peaceful resolutions on a consistent basis without falling out completely or ghosting or blocking each other, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be buried and not talk to you for a month. If we can't talk for 4 months straight, why can't we go 40 years straight? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much. But yeah. Y'all let me know. Guys, what y'all think? You think 6 months is too much to ask? And women, would you wait 6 months if it meant that the relationship would be the relationship you've always wanted? Or at least a semblance of? Because people always say 6 months is too long. But really, I just think a lot of people are impatient and insecure. A relationship isn't supposed to be a flex. It's supposed to be a foundation. And I'd rather make sure that I build it slowly over time to make sure it was solid. So if you're dating intentionally, don't let anyone rush you or peer pressure you. And please don't think of it as wasted time or wasting your time. Think of it as saving yourself years of investment and wasted time down the road. Drop a like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Fellas, let me know.